All right, so let's talk Mercari. Now, I usually buy from eBay or Etsy. I really don't like delving into other online buying platforms. And with Mercari, I had an issue with actually a seller that I bought a expensive item from. And a seller has like, I think 2 or 3 business days to ship the item. And the guy didn't ship the item. 10 days goes by. He didn't ship the item. 13 days go by. He didn't ship the item. And non-responsive. So he didn't reply back to me. So I want to tell you guys, if you're buying on Mercari, you are protected. Now, if they don't ship it by a certain time, you can cancel the order and get a refund, but that holds up your money. So say you bought something for $200 and the seller's non-responsive, they're not replying back to you, they're not shipping your item. What should you do on Mercari? Well, after the shipping date has passed that they're supposed to have it shipped out by, in your account, there'll be a little button and it will say cancel order. Then within 7 to 10 business days, your money will be refunded back to your account, which slows you down if you need that capital or that money available immediately. Pain in the butt, but this was a cheap thing. So let's unbox it and restore. Today's a restoration video. Now, I'm not a restorationist with antiques, and I'm not an expert. So let's see, does this go good or does this go bad? I forgot to mention, oh yeah, I got my shank. I forgot to mention, if the seller doesn't get feedback, in order for a Mercari seller to get paid, you have to give them feedback. Now, after a certain amount of time, if you don't give the seller feedback, Mercari releases their payment. But that's how you're protected on Mercari. So let's do this in fast motion. I'm making a trap door. All right, so here it is, and you're like, why? Why did you buy this? Oh, look at the dust flying off of it, or orbs and ghosts coming out of it. So this I wanted to restore. The seller said this was a 1930s crucifix, and they're wrong. Now, I've been collecting crucifixes, antique crucifixes, for quite some time, and I know in certain time frames, certain styles, like fashion, were popular for certain crucifixes. And this is known as the Arma Christi. Now, this is from the 1870s, not the 1930s. And on the back, we have the weapons of Christ, which I'll go over later, what each symbol means, even dice. Yeah, really cool. And so this thing is really in really terrible shape. So what I need to do is clean the dust. Look at all the dust in this. Do you see that? Clean the dust out of this. And I want to clean Christ. I want to clean all the metal pieces. And I want to restore the ebonized wood. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think it's actually ebony, but it could be ebony wood. And we're going to fix this today, boys and girls, with some tools that I have in my toolbox. In this video, not only will we be doing a restoration with somebody who's not a restorationist or an expert, and that dog is a pain in the butt. My one dog is a bark happy dog. He ruins every video. I'll be back. Okay, I just hollered at the dog. Okay, he's not going to shut up. But yeah, so I'm not an expert restorationist, but I am what's known as what's the word? Instinctive. Don't mind me. Instinctive restorationist. I will attempt restorations by instinct, what I think a professional restorationist would do. All right, so here we go. This is filth, flarn, and filth. I think Bill Cosby once said that in a stand-up. Really, filth, flarn, and filth. Look at how old this is. Wow. All right, so what I need to do is clean out this first of all dust. Let's get going. We'll get the tools like a surgeon, and we'll get rocking on this. So the tools you're about to see, I'll try to put links for, well, not everything, but most of everything in my description box beneath the video. So we have furniture repair markers. This is actually oil stain in all different colors, and you can see the crayons exploded in here and got all over the markers. But I got something like this. I think it was like, they're $15 or under. I'll give you a link in the description below. All different colors for wood, which we're going to use on this, because I don't feel like staining this, boys and girls. And we have Simichrome, which is a German metal polish. Let's get that out. We have a silver polishing rag. This is the buffing side. This opens up. And as you can see, I use it quite a bit. It opens up big. And you can't wash these. Once you use them up, it's over. So I get 2 packs of this. All right, so let's get started. So what I want to do is get Murphy's oil soap. Oh, I have to get that. I'll be right back. So I got my Murphy's oil soap. By the way, they changed the formula and it sucks. I have an old bottle of Murphy's oil soap. So I'm just going to... Okay. And I'm going to keep dipping this into here. First, we want to clean the dust out of this as much as possible and condition the wood. And you're going to see probably filth come off of this. So we're going to do that. Now, am I an expert at this? No, I could probably ruin it. I hope not. I've done that before. Look at this. Look at the filth coming off of this, okay? And we're just going to get as much dust as we can out of here because the dust is a killer when it comes to antiques. And so we're going to just go around here and clean as much of this as we can. There's loads of dust. We're going to clean Jesus with a damp cloth. Let's get in there. And look at that. That is, oh wow, that is bad. Okay, so we know Jesus is just as grody. Let's see how grody our Jesus is. And I'm just going to go and wipe him down to get all the dust off of him. And we'll go ahead and do this. Now this is going to be a long video. So I suggest you hit the back button if you have a TikTok attention span, boys and girls, because I know a lot of you have a TikTok attention span. But this is for you people that love to see things being fixed. I watch these videos where people find, look at that, by the way, dirty furniture, used furniture on the side of the road, and that's all chipped up and, I don't know, a rusty old barnacle, and they fix it, and I get satisfaction. Or there's a guy that I watch on YouTube that actually repairs old pocket watches and watches. And his videos are like 89,000 minutes long. But I just sit there and I know nothing about pocket watches. And I just watch and it does something. It relaxes me. So this is going to be a video to relax. Unless my New York accent like grates on your nerves. Sorry. And yeah. All right. Jesus is very grody. So now I'm going to dry Jesus with a beat up dish towel that's stained and we don't care what happens to it, right, boys and girls? And he's a little loose on the nail. He's a little loose. The nails are old. I'll show you that in a moment, how old these nails really are. All right, we need to get this. And I have a little glass. And I'm just dipping my Q-tip in there. Okay. And we want to clean this. And I want to clean this of all dust. Because if we're going to use our Simichrome, we don't want it to cause some kind of really crazy, like Dexter's Laboratory type of like experience where we have explosions. And so I'm going to get into these little dentals. And I'm going to try my best not to screw this up. But then again, I've destroyed some antiques. I'm not proud of it, boys and girls. Very not proud of it. But I have in the past destroyed antiques with my limited knowledge of restoration. Let's get in there. And you can see, I mean, the filth is just literally coming off of this. We want to just get as much dust as we can out of this. And I can go in there with a paintbrush too, and I can dust out the areas. All right, let's get our Simichrome. Now, I want to do an experiment on Jesus because we don't know if this blackened patina, we don't know what kind of metal this is. Let's get a magnet and see if this is iron. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay. And nope. No, this is not magnetic. So it's probably not iron. Okay, good to know. It could be bronze or it could be, I'm trying to think. I don't know about silver, but I'm going to turn Jesus over. Now, he's loose on his nails. I'm going to show you old nails. This one's actually missing. But these are old nails. Now, you could tell old Victorian nails or from before because they're not perfectly round. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Let's zoom in. The heads of the nails are not perfectly round. They're quite old. All right, let's turn Jesus upside down. We're going to do a test spot because we don't want to start using our Simichrome on the, the spot that you're going to see it the most. Because if we screw up, and this is a bad, bad thing, it's going to be even worse if it's going to be in the spot where you're going to look at it. So I'm going to find a clean spot on my rag. I'm going to take the cap off. By the way, you can't get this in California. So if I give you the link to Simichrome in the description box below, you're definitely not going to be able to get it in California. I don't know. They ban everything in California. Everything causes cancer in California. All right, there we go. Little bit of the pink stuff. I'm going to try to see what happens when we do this to Jesus on the opposite side. Now, with Simichrome, you're going to have to rinse and repeat multiple times over and over again. Like if something's really grody. You can see, oh, look. All right, hold on. Yeah, this might be silver. A lot of these old crucifixes, the corpuses, or the body of Christ, are silver. So I just want to do one more little experiment with this and get in there good and rub as hard as I can. Now, you can take brushes and do this, like a toothbrush and stuff like that, but I don't want it to get on the wood. I don't know what will happen if you put Simichrome on wood. And I'm not willing to, take that chance or risk. Oh, this is going to clean up nice, boys and girls. All right, let's get started. First, what we're going to do is we're going to clean all the metal. All right, so the metal goes first. Then we're going to worry about the wood. So let's go ahead and get the metal done. Just putting a dab. I want to see what happens with this. Let's pray to God that, pray to God that this filth comes off and it looks shiny like silver or chrome. I want it to look almost like silver or chrome. So I'm going to just keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. And then we're going to look at the difference between one side and the other side. Holy schmoly. And you can see this is going to be a long process, so I will be back. Hey, I just noticed something that has really disturbed me. Tell me if I'm seeing things. Maybe I don't know, my mental facilities aren't well, but is this what I think it is? Yeah. Oof. Okay, weird. That's how I know this is even older. Because they don't do things like this today, boys and girls, on crucifixes. Because it's for children, too. All right, so far, we're making leeway compared to that. All right, so far it's looking so much better. I decided I'm not going to do a heavy restoration because the heavy restoration will take away the patina from this old beautiful cross. So now we have to glue his hand back on because, yeah. And then we're going to restore the wood. So take a look at that. And I don't know what color we're going to use. We have to decide on which marker. So we got mahogany, black, or chestnut. I think chestnut matches it the most. I think black is too much. All right, I think we're going to go with chestnut. All right, let's see how this goes. Now, this is the part that could ruin the whole entire thing. So, let's go into a little spot. Oh, that looks so much better. All right, so I left as much patina on it as I could, but as you can see, it's much cleaner. We got the wood restained, and those furniture markers are fantastic. It's unbelievable because this wood was all faded. The stain was all faded. All right, so we cleaned Jesus as much as we could. And we cleaned the sides and the little dentals. But I did leave as much patina as I could on it to show the age. And this was probably a mission crucifix. Something that was used, it's probably Spanish, Italian maybe, German, French, not sure. Let's turn it around the back. We have the symbols. I did not clean the back. This is very heavy, this crucifix. And we got the arm reattached, by the way. And my neighbor's dog is being sort of a douche right now. Sorry, I have to whisper. And there we go. So let's take a look at it in all different lightings. Successful restoration of 1870s crucifix. All right, so I know that the Armor Christi type of crucifixes were generally popular in the 1870s. Here's some examples of them. And let's go ahead and actually look at photos. Let's go up to my images. Here we go. And a lot of these were made in 1870s with the Armor Christi, which is the weapons of Christ. But I blew open this case solid and like wide. Okay, so here's 1870s ones. And I was like, yeah, this is totally 1870s. But boys and girls, we are in for some cool history. Wait till you find out when this was really made. Very hard to pin down exactly when these things were made, but rare 1877. And I'll go over some photos. Let's find the little date on here. And, okay, hold on. It's dated, I don't know if you can see that, I'm pointing at it right now, 1877. And these Armor Christis, they don't come across, they don't come up very often. Let's just go back a second and try to show you what it looks like. It's in a shadow box with the weapons of Christ. It's not very popular in today's day and age. So that's why I thought I had an 1870s crucifix. But wait, boys and girls, we're going to find out some cool stuff in a moment. Okay, so on the right, you're going to see my crucifix. And on the left, you're going to see something I found on Pinterest. It's the same crucifix. Now, I've only found mine, this one, and one other one that was an altar crucifix with the same exact markings on the back on the whole entire internet. Now, mind you, I researched these things for hours, and I've only been able to find 3. Now, here's the one on the left. Mine is on the right after I restored it, and you can see how blackened Jesus was. Mine was the same way, but I cleaned mine because it bothers me to see something so blackened where you can't even see Jesus on the crucifix because of the filth. And let's scroll down. Here we go. Look, you can see these are the same thing. But what does it say? Now, it was in Polish. I was able to translate it through Pinterest. And it says, funeral cross, black, memorial after the January Uprising after 1865. Antoni E. Gornish, can't pronounce that because it's Polish. And wait, what's the January Uprising after 1865 memorial? What's this? All right, so we're going to find out something really cool. I believe this was actually one of those crucifixes that we used for the memorial right around 1865. So now we know that this is even older than the 1870s, boys and girls. And this person, we're going to go ahead and look at their Pinterest. They're a historian, which is really cool. We'll find out about the January Uprising. Let's look at their other things really fast. Okay, so this person that had the crucifix actually specializes in Polish armaments, which is really interesting. And let's check out. Now, this person actually knows their thing about history. So let's look at this, okay? All right, so this person would have just put that up there for nothing if they didn't know what they were talking about. So we got a piece of history, boys and girls. Now, what is the January Uprising? Well, we're going to find out right now. I can't, forget it. This, like, we're not going to go away yet. This is like eye candy. This is absolute eye candy. Look at all this stuff. More of their pins, Polish weapons. And wow, okay, eye candy time. If you like antiques, this is definitely eye candy time. Look at this. We got military medals. What else do we have? Oh my goodness, this stuff is just beautiful. Like, nothing they make today is nice compared to, like, back in the Wayback Machine. Like, the crap you get on Amazon. They don't make stuff like this anymore, boys and girls. Holy guacamole, look at this. Look at this ancient history. And the artifacts of this ancient history. Oh, boy, look at the guns. Holy cow. Look at this. The shields with, this is, I think it's the Perpetual Mother. Really? Oh my God. Look. Oh my God. That is just absolutely beautiful. Oh, here we go. Our Lady of the Hussars. Okay, so they were very religious. As we can see here, here's another religious icon. It's a soldier's gorget. Don't know what that is. I think it hangs from their uniform. Holy cow, look at this. And it just keeps coming. Look at that. The icon of Mary. So apparently this guy knows what he's talking about. And so I'm really confident in the history of my piece. We got another one. January Uprising Cross. Oh, wow. Okay, let's click on that. Now, if I click on it, what's going to happen? Oh, I hate when this happens. You know what? What's going to happen is I hate Pinterest. There's thousands of pins. And what's going to happen is it's going to take us, it's actually going to take us back all the way to the beginning. And we're going to have to scroll down again. So let's just zoom in on my computer and take a look at this. January Uprising Crucifix. All right, let's keep going. Oh, this is getting... Here's another one. Dated 1863. January Uprising Altar Crucifix. Can we zoom in? Wait, let's take a look at this if we can. We got ebonized wood. Oh, wow. All right, so what we got is actually a memorial to the January Uprising. Definitely. Without a doubt, here we go. Here it is again. And here's, mourning stuff. And I don't know how to read Polish, but okay, let's zoom in. Can we zoom in? There we go. We got another ebonized crucifix of the January Uprising. And there's more. Here we go. It's in a book telling them that it's a January Uprising crucifix from that time frame of about 1863. Oh, wow. Okay, let's keep going. Here's more. An insurgent cross from the January Uprising. We got it budded out on each corner. You see the buds. And, here we go. Funeral cross, black. And this is it. This is it, boys and girls. This is our crucifix. Here's a zoom in of part of a historical painting of the uprising. And you see the Russian in blue attacking the peasants and the friars and the brothers of the Catholic Church. And look at that crucifix. Doesn't it remind you of something? You see the ebonized wood with the budded out ends? Oh, yeah. Definitely. Okay, so we do have something from the 1860s. There's more crucifixes in the crowd. All right, so here's the whole painting. Well, I'm trying to do this sideways on my phone. If I do it in the selfie mode, it's not going to show up full screen on my video. But here's the battle. We're going to go over the battle in a moment. It was the Russians against the Poles, and you see the Cossacks on horseback attacking the people. You see what looks like this guy over here. Oops, sorry about that. He's looks like a friar or a monk or a brother. You see the crucifixes in the crowd. It looks like, another, like maybe an archbishop or a cardinal is holding on for dear life to the crucifix as the Cossack is whipping. You see the whips right there? There's whips while they're really attacking the people. Now, 95% of these people were Catholics, and they were being killed and being massacred by the Russians. Let's find out about this uprising. Now, apparently, at the beginning of 1862, a patriotic fervor was spreading across Warsaw. Celebrations honoring the 30th anniversary of the Battle of Olszynka Grochowska, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, had been planned for the 25th of February. And as posterity would know, the first of the demonstrations was to prepare the ground for the January Uprising of 1863. Demonstrations took place on June 11th, 1860, and invoked the spirit of the earlier November Uprising of 1830 to 31. Now, basically, the widow of General Sowinski, a hero of the November Uprising, acquired the character of a patriotic demonstration. Now, apparently the Russians did not like this, and will go on.
Как вам нравится бурная дурацкая деятельность нашего капитана?
Почему дурацкая?
Упражняется с мужиками, которые не поддержали повстанцев. То есть наказывает тех...
Okay, I don't understand a word they're saying.
With its roots in the uprising of November 1830, and encouraged by events elsewhere in Europe, including the success of the Italian independence movement, and take advantage of a Russia weakened by the Crimean War, and the reforms introduced by Tsar Alexander II, the uprising of January 1863 was the longest lasting in post-partition Poland. Although it was ultimately unsuccessful, and Russian reprisals were swift and ruthless, its engagement of all levels of society went on to have a decisive influence on the subsequent development of Polish society. This is the story of that uprising. Towards the end of 1863, so militarily, the uprising received a bit of a boost when Traugut returned, and who had actually served in the Tsarist army as an officer.
Traugut?
And I think he'd resigned of the whole effort.
Yes, but he was this kind of the person who knew what to do. I mean, he wouldn't got into too much detail. But first, before that happens, in August, you've got this famous battle of, it's unpronounceable for Englishmen, the Battle of Żyżyn.
Żyżyn, yes, unpronounceable.
It's closer to Lublin than to Warsaw. But it's not that you have to seek very, very long. I mean, it's the main road that leads from Warsaw to Lublin. You've got Żyżyn on the right, and there is a monument to that battle. And what happened? Ammo for that money. So that was the first spark that helped the uprising survive. But of course, you are right in saying that
sort of being brought together on the grounds that
I mean, he reorganized the uprising. He said we have to divide, Poland into districts. We have to attach corpses to districts.
Okay, this guy, I thought I was a stutterer. Okay, this guy's a stutterer, and I can't do this anymore. It's boring. Okay, it's boring. All right, so basically it started with a church service for the fallen in 1831 in the Church of the Carmelites on Lesno Street. But the culmination came later on the so-called, I can't pronounce this Polish stuff. Along with the protesters marched. The Russians opened fire, and the following demonstrators were killed. Philip Adamantiets, can't pronounce it, a journeyman tailor employed in the construction of the Vistula Bridge. Michael Archwetz, a high school student. Carol Brendel, a welder, factory worker, and landowner. Blah, blah, blah. And there's multiple people were killed by the Russians. What's going on here? Basically, from what I found, the Russians didn't like that Poland wanted to be separate from them. And the protesters mixed in with the funeral cortege or procession moving along this particular street that I can't pronounce, got jammed between the protesters in the narrow streets of the nearby town, people were stirred up by rumors that the Russians, in the tumult, had broken a crucifix. At some time, the crowd was confused. Some say they attacked soldiers with bricks and pieces of ice. In any case, they did not obey the soldiers' orders to disperse, and shots were fired as they hit their targets, which were all these poor people in the middle of the street, causing tensions in their wake. And in October 1861, it introduced a martial law in the kingdom. And the Russian authorities continued attempts to restore peace, but the Polish did not want the peace. Now, there a bunch of funerals services took place in the Church of the Holy Cross, and from there the remains were taken to a certain Polish cemetery and buried there in a shared grave. And the funeral did indeed turn into another occasion for the manifestation of patriotic feelings and the feelings of national unity or nationalism, and the myth of national unity having been strengthened in the Carnival of Freedom of 1860-1861. Now, estimates from that period speak of 150,000 participants in the funeral procession, including representatives of all professions, level of society, and faith, including delegations from Krakow and Poznan, don't know if I pronounced that right, and also priests and members of the Jewish community, and evangelical pastors. The unifying symbol was the cross, or crucifix. As one might expect, there was a ban on displays of national colors. And so basically, the insurrectionists decide to rise up. And, here we go. It says, Adam Mickiewicz's 1830 poem, and I can't pronounce, here we go, To Polish Mother, I translated it for you, compared the passion of the Christ and the suffering of the Mother of God with the fate of their Polish conspirators who would get the dry wood of the gallows and their mothers. Now, my crucifix is the Passion of the Christ. On the back, we have all the symbols. And basically, they fought the Russians, and they fought them quite well, because it went on from 1861 to 1863 until their insurrection was crushed, unfortunately. All right, so was this made, is this one of those crucifixes that we saw in that Polish historian's Pinterest page? Don't know. But I will tell you, we've only seen two other of these on the entire internet, did multiple research, and so this was probably made in Germany or Bavaria, and of course it's close. It's not too far from I was going to say Russia, from Poland, and it probably got there, came back from Polish immigrants to the United States. It was probably part of an estate of somebody that was probably killed in this insurrection, so-called January Uprising. Really cool history that I couldn't really find like something under 5 minutes to tell you the history of what happened. Apparently, the Polish did not want to be under the rule of the Russians. The Russians were brutal, sent the people to Siberia, shot them, and 86 them in the streets. They did not like that. Also, I read that the Russians were forcing the Poles to do a mandatory 20-year of military service, and that's when they had enough. They had enough of the rule of the Russians. Did they crush the Russians? No, because the Russians had about 150,000 soldiers to their probably 15,000 soldiers. Yeah, that's not an easy rebellion to crush. Well, it's not the Russians' rebellion, but it's not an easy military force to crush with so few people rising up and with limited resources such as weapons. But this is a weapon, and now we know that this is from the 1860s. So thanks for watching. Sorry for all the boredom. If you made it to the ending of this video, give yourself a thumbs up at the bottom of this video. Yes, I'm manipulating you to give me a thumbs up. And wow, we have a piece of history that I was able to restore. I did not restore it fully because why are you growling? My dogs are growling because they want me to play. They have a lamb chop toy. It's a little stuffed lamb chop, the lamb, and they want me to throw it right now. So you know what? I'm going to go, guys. What are you growling about? Okay, I'll see you guys all soon. I got to play with the dogs. And did you learn anything? If you did, write in the comments below. If you didn't learn anything, Just tell me how cool this crucifix is, because it's over 160 years old. You ruined my video. Give me the lamb chop. Give me that lamb chop. Can I have him? Can I have lamb chop? Oh, I'm being growled at. Monsters. Okay, here. Oh! Give me that. Are you smoking? Is that a cigarette?